Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get to it. You know, a lot of people don't really pay a lot of attention to the regular season. It's kind of the basketball season's long. A lot of these games are meaningless to these people, and they don't understand how important these games are until the playoffs come, when they see a team that can't shoot the long ball. They see a team that can't defend the pick and roll. They see a team that's a heavy switch team. They see these teams that do these things in the playoffs, and they wonder why they falter, or they wonder why they're so good. Well, the reason why they're so good is because throughout the regular season, they've honed this craft, or throughout the regular season, these deficiencies, they didn't handle them. So once you get to the playoffs, where I only have this amount of time to deal with you and you only, I get to expose whatever deficiencies you have. Or in the playoffs, whatever I'm great at, I get to enhance that, and I get to take advantage of that. So we got a dandy tonight. We got a damn good game tonight with the Cavs and the Celtics. Now, I'm on record before the season started saying that I thought that the Cavs were a top 3 seed in the East this season. I like what they brought to the table. I like the fact that this crew has been together for as long as they've been together. I was expecting the emergence of Evan Mobley, and I got that. I was expecting Darius Garland to be better, and I did get that. That combination of both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen around the rim, it's gotten better. Their rotations are even better than what I thought that they were going to be, and this was largely due to who was at the helm. I didn't like when they fired Coach Bickerstaff. I did not like when they fired Coach J.B. Bickerstaff. I didn't. I thought that he's a damn good coach, but when I found out who they were hiring, I said, okay, I'm okay with this, because Kenny Atkinson is a damn good coach. He knows how to adjust to rotations. He knows how to sub guys in and out. He knows how to take advantage of mismatches. So I thought that this hire for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I thought it was a good hire. And I really like what I'm seeing from the Cavs. I do. I like what I'm seeing from the Cavs. They got the best offense in the league. They got a top 6 defense. They right outside the top 5 in defense. I think Evan Mobley is the defensive player of the year. I don't think that there are many guys overall as defenders who are better than him and who've been playing better than him. I don't think that there are many guys like that in the league. And I think that what he's brought to this Cavs team, just as an individual defender, in the clutch, at the rim, his ability to switch, not only his ability to switch, his ability to guard on the block, his ability to guard the rim, he's been fantastic. Like I said, this is a top 6. They're right outside the top 5 in defense, and he's been even better as an offensive player, just getting downhill. Now, the Boston Celtics, on the other hand, we know who this team is. I don't think it's news who the Celtics are. The Celtics are a long ball shooting team. That's it. There is no in between with them. They're number 1 in the league in shooting the long ball. They're number 1 in the league in attempts. They're number 1 in the league in makes. They're right outside the top 10 in percentage. There isn't another team in the league that does that. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with this matchup with the Cavs. With the Celtics being number 1 in the league in shooting the long ball, with the Celtics being number 1 in the league in attempts, with them being right outside the top 10 in percentage, with the Celtics being at the top of the league and drawing fouls. That's the exact opposite of who Cleveland is. Cleveland doesn't guard the long ball line very well. In fact, they're in the bottom 10 at guarding the long ball line. Cleveland doesn't. Cleveland isn't as disciplined on defense. Even though they got a damn good defense, overall, they're not as disciplined. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in fouls. So I think this is a recipe for disaster for Cleveland if they don't clean this up. And I think that the Celtics can take advantage of that. I think the Celtics have an advantage considering what they're good at and what the Cavs are not good at. With that being said, we also have situations with the Celtics. The Celtics are a very switch-heavy team. The Celtics are a team that very much likes to switch. And they can do that because they got a lot of interchangeable guys with Jaylen Brown, with Derek White, with Drew Holiday, with Jason Tatum. They have a lot of guys on the perimeter who can switch. The problem is that they're a switch-heavy team, not just with their perimeter guys. They're a switch-heavy team with everybody. So you can mismatch hunt with them. So I can get Donovan Mitchell switched on to Nikita, like Golden State did with Curry. And I don't like that missing. I don't like that matchup. I don't like that matchup at all. Hell no. Absolutely not. I can get Darius Garland switched. I can get Darius Garland switched on to Cornette. I don't like that matchup at all for the Boston Celtics. We can when you have a team that's that switch heavy, you can hunt mismatches. And the guy that I feel like Cleveland is hunting, they're going to hunt Al Horford. They're going to do everything that they can to get Al Horford in as much action as they possibly can. He's the older guy. He's not as mobile. He can still defend, but he's not as mobile. And they're gonna hunt their big guys, Al Horford, Kata, get those guys in as much action as possible. As much action as possible. The flip side to that, the Celtics' best defender, not the Celtics, the Cavs' best defender, get him in action with Jason Tatum. I think that's a matchup that I expect to see, and force Jason Tatum into tough shots. Force Jason Tatum to shoot that long ball because Jason Tatum is a lot better on a catch and shoot than he is off the dribble, particularly going to his weak hand. He's a lot better just catching and shooting when guys like Derek White, Drew Holiday are creating shots and kicking the ball to him. He's a lot better at that than when Evan Mobley is standing in front of him and he's got to create a shot and the shot clock's running down and he's going to have to crack a long ball. I'd much rather that. That's why I want to get Evan Mobley switched on to Jason Tatum. This is going to be a damn good. This is going to be a damn good matchup because I like Cleveland's front line. I like the fact that Cleveland, with both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, man the paint, and I like the fact that Evan Mobley has gotten stronger. And with him getting stronger, I like the fact that he's more aggressive at the rim. I mean, he's looking at the rim as a long ball shooter. He's looking at the rim as a mid-range shooter, which I think is great. But I love the fact that he's putting his head down and getting downhill. Been one of the better finishers around the rim this season, and that's largely due to him getting healthy and him staying healthy. This is going to be a matchup for the ages in regular season. I get excited about regular season games, but I'm really excited about this game in particular because I think it's a measuring stick for who the Cavs can be. If the Cavs can get past Boston, I think they can win 20 straight. I think they could go on a run where they might not lose for a while. I think that they can win 20. They can win 20 straight games. I know they got to play Atlanta twice, who Atlanta is no pushover. They got basically Alvin Robinson 2.0 over there as a perimeter defender in Dyson Daniels. I love everything about him. That's who he reminds me of when I see him. He reminds me of Alvin Robinson. How he gets in the passing lane, his ability to keep his hands busy. I love that about him. And they played him twice after they played the Celtics. But let's see if we could get past the Celtics first. All right? Let's see if they could get past the Celtics first. If they could get past the Celtics first, then we could talk about them extending this lead. The Celtics, on the other hand, I think this could be a springboard for them. Running up on a damn good team in Cleveland that's coming into your building, and they want to extend their win streak. The Celtics have one of the best home records in the league, right? They got one of the best home records in the league. They play some of their best basketball when they're at home. So I'll be real interested to see how this thing unfolds with the Celtics and the Cavs. I'm gonna take the Celtics at home. I just like the fact that what they do best as an offensive team, the Cavs do the worst as a defensive team. And I like that. I think that that's going to play a major part in them winning. Now, of course, shot selection is going to be huge here, right? Shot selection is going to be huge here. And you can't bail out a team that's not good at something. You can't bail them out with bad shots. And you can't bail out the Cavs who don't guard the long ball well. You can't bail them out with bad shots. You got to make them guard. So the way you make them guard is you got to get good shots and knock those shots down. When you do that, you extend their defense and you put them in a real precarious situation. So I'll be interested to see I'll be really interested to see how this thing matches up. I was interested watching last night Milwaukee and Houston. A lot of this stuff that I watch is by design. I have to believe that it's by design. And the reason why I think that is because there's things that happen where there's no way that you don't see this and you go in a different direction. For example, we're in the fourth quarter and I got dribble handoff action with DeLon Wright and Giannis. Dribble handoff action. He throws the ball to Giannis. Giannis takes one dribble, gives it back to DeLon. Giannis dives to the box. He's got a mismatch on the block. DeLon doesn't even look at him. He doesn't even look at him. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, not only do I have a mismatch on the block, right? Not only do I have a mismatch on the box, but I also got the league leading scorer on the box. And I don't look at him. That tells me that one of two things is going on. One, you don't know how to play, which I'm having a difficult time believing that. Or two, it's by design. Like, that's not where we're going. And if that's not where we're going, why aren't we going there? Why are we not going there? And I asked that question because I got a mismatch. Giannis can get something quick, bury a guy in the post. Why aren't we going there? I got the league leading scorer on the block. Why aren't we going there? No reason for that to happen. And then we get late in the game. Now, this right here, right? This right here is what boggles my mind. Defense is a skill. Communication is a skill. You have to be able to talk to each other when you are playing defense. And the plan was, when we're coming out of the timeout, you're covering him, I'm going to cover this guy, I'm covering him, you're covering him. Bet. If we're switching, we know that we're switching. Foot to foot. There was no switch. There needed to be no switch because Gary Trent could have stayed right with his guy, which means Green could have stayed with his guy. But we don't have any communication. Because we don't have any communication, I got Giannis now having to cover for both of these guys at the top, and I got Sengun wide open, and all Fred VanVleet has to do is throw the ball on the floor, and Sengun's got a layup. He's got a layup. Now, I do have to give credit to Milwaukee because that ball pressure was a pretty big deal. Yeah. I think that ball pressure was a really big deal. The fact that he wasn't able to see that, but that's a communication error. A huge communication error. And this is one of the things that the Milwaukee Bucks has to clean up. I don't think that that's coaching more than that is the players just having to communicate with each other. You stay home, we're going to switch this. If they come together, we switch. And they didn't come together, which means AJ and Gary Trent Jr. did not have to switch. Meanwhile, both of those guys run to the corner. And now that leaves Giannis to have to cover up their mistakes. This is the stuff that has to get cleaned up. But if there's a team between Milwaukee and Philly who I think can turn it around, I think Milwaukee can turn it around more than Philly. Philly looks to me like they're a bus stuck in the mud. And I don't see them turning this thing around. Their best player looks like a shell of himself. And one of the main stakes in them turning it around is him. And as bad as people would say the Eastern Conference is, I still don't think that there's enough time for them to turn this around. They don't have a bad record. They don't have the worst record in the Atlantic Division. They don't have the worst record in the Eastern Conference. They got the worst record in the NBA. They're at the bottom of the NBA, not the bottom of the East. They're at the bottom of the NBA. I'm having a difficult time seeing Philly turn this thing around. So I'll be real interested to see how well they move from this point moving forward. But we're going to see. We are 100% going to see. I will be back. You guys know where to find me. I'm going to be on tonight with my man Tony Tone. We will be covering this game on Fluent and Chill on the Chilltown Hoops and Sports Fluent Network. I will see you guys soon. But until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. It was good to see you guys this morning. Absolutely. Canada. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.